What do you see?
Get out!
That was horrific. What was that?
That was Hans's investigation, the Peck House in Rye, New York, in 1963.
My father talked about this case all the time. In fact, he went there 3 times during his career. And each time he documented the same paranormal experiences with 3 different owners.
When he went back the final time in 1985, the house was owned by a family called the Barents.
I was a little girl then, but I do remember the kids were terrified.
What type of experiences were they having?
A lot. Doors were locking on their own. Water would kind of bleed from the walls and ceilings. But the thing that scared the kids was an apparition of a little girl who had died in the attic from a fire. Her name is Lottie Peck. Lottie was mentally disabled, and she was confined to the attic. And in 1884, she tried to use a candle to burn through the door to escape. The fire spread, and she was burned alive.
My God.
Her spirit remained there for over 100 years until 1985, and this is where it gets really weird. Barbara Barent found a painting one of the past owners, Molly Guillaume, had made of Lottie, and she hung it in the home. Immediately, the activity ceased, and Hans believed the spirit had moved on. Well, I'll call the Barents and let them know that you're on your way.
But before I meet with them, our psychic medium, Cindy, who knows nothing about the case file yet, has asked for their house to be cleared while she performs a psychometry reading on the actual painting.
Something happened to her. I know I'm seeing a fire, too. Do you know if she has a brother? You don't know?
No.
Because I just went up into an attic and I saw a younger brother that would have been very sick. I see her being in a different house as well.
I'm gonna meet with the previous owners of the house, the last family to actually reach out to Hans Holzer for help.
I had a room that was closest to the attic where Lottie lit herself on fire. I heard a lot of noises, doors unlocking and locking by themselves.
Since you hung the portrait up, where do you think the spirit of Lottie is now?
I don't know. But after we hung Lottie in the entrance hall, all strange activities seemed to stop. I did hear immediately after that there was another house in Rye, the Knapp house, where they started having very similar activities.
The Knapp house is the oldest house in Westchester. In 1663, Timothy Knapp bought the property, started building the house. In 1667, it was complete. When Timothy died, his heirs sold it to the Halstead family, and they became a very prominent family in Rye and lived in the house for the next 150 years. I just know that I try not to ever be in the Knapp house, A, by myself, and definitely not once the sun goes down.
There's obviously something going on here between these 2 locations. Sherry's put us in touch with a colleague of hers who will meet us there tonight. So for the first time, Cindy and I get an actual peek inside this Knapp house. What's your experience?
I'm also very uncomfortable being here after dark.
Can you think of anything tragic that happened here that might have brought on this kind of activity?
The thing that comes to mind is Joseph Halstead, who was the eldest son of Ezekiel, who bought the house in 1749. And Joseph is interesting because although he was the eldest son, he was passed over for inheritance because he was physically disabled.
I'm getting goosebumps just hearing this because if you think about what happened with Lottie, she was mentally disabled, she was locked away, she was treated unfairly by her family, and it's a similar situation.
There's a smaller room, which I find incredibly creepy, and it could have been his room.
This room is so creepy.
We came here to look further into Hans's investigations in the Peck house, but now we followed it to a whole new location. And the ties between the 2 are just too similar. So that begs the question then, Hans really help Lottie Peck to move on? Or did she just move? Hey, Alexandra, how you doing?
Hey, Dave.
We have just gotten back from really a couple of bizarre days. On your father's third visit to Rye, he was able to help put the spirit of Lottie Peck to rest. But almost instantly, on shared property, the Knapp house exploded with activity. We've got the connection. These two families, they're actually related. Then you add to the fact Lottie is over at the Peck house. She was mentally disabled, treated very poorly. And we look at the Knapp house. They've got a young man in the house who's disabled from the waist down and is basically discarded by the family. So much like Lottie's story of being forgotten, Joseph's story goes the same way. I have an idea for our investigation tonight that might be able to measure this shift of energy and who it is that we're dealing with here now.
Always keep in mind the protocol, the focus, the intent. Remember, Dave, you guys being there are fueling that fire.
I have cameras throughout the whole house.
Each time that Hans Holzer visited, he helped a different spirit move on. But what is this presence here at the Knapp house?
I keep hearing, get out of my house. Get out of my house. I don't want you people in my house. I've told you this time and time again.
Shh. Lottie, is that you?
What was that?
Something just breathed on my neck.
Where?
Right standing there. Something just went right on the back of my neck.
Do you think we should go get the thermal camera?
Yeah. I've got it going on you guys right now. This will pick up any changes in temperature.
I feel like it's drawing us upstairs right now. Do you guys want to go give it a check?
Let's go.
Oh my God.
What?
I just saw a woman walk right down these stairs and smile at me like her teeth were black and then I just feel evil. It feels evil. That was really scary. That was not a woman. That was evil, looking like a woman. She walked up to me like this, and she goes like this, and then she smiled and her teeth were black, and then she started laughing and she walked away. But it's not a she. It's trying to fool us.
This is where the hotbed is. You're feeling something pulling you towards that room. See if you can connect with that darker energy that you're feeling here. Shane, I'd like to put you up in the room where it's believed the Halstead's handicapped son, Joseph, was kept. Do an EVP session. I'm gonna go down to base camp, keep an eye on both of you. Are you ready for this?
Feel weird about it, but I'm willing to do it.
All right.
Joseph, I know it had to be hard to be locked in here. I'm sorry that happened to you. If you're in here right now, can you do something to let me know that you're here with me?
Relax, Shane. What happened?
Something grabbed my neck. I'm kind of freaked out in here, man.
Something physically grabbed your neck?
Yes.
Who are you? Who is this presence that's with me? Who's the negative presence in this house?
I don't want to put my back towards the wall anymore.
Tell me your name. I can't get his name. I don't understand that. What is your name?
Shane, you got this. Let's keep this experiment going. My stomach is in knots watching this.
Why are you in this house?
Feels so heavy in here.
Shane, just keep engaging the EVP session. Don't go off task. When you were asking questions, things started to heat up.
Can you do something else to let me know that somebody is in here with me?
I know that speaking their name out loud gives them power, but I don't know if I'm supposed to say the name.
Don't do it. Don't say the
Your
name.
name.
No.
I'm really scared to say the name of a demon out loud.
That's it. I can't be in there anymore. Did you see anything in there?
I had eyes on the entire house. As you were talking about debating about whether to bring up that name, and I was telling you to don't do it, things are getting crazier and crazier for him. I think it's with you. Don't let it.
I know.
We'll have to listen to those EVP sessions later, but maybe it's time to swap you two around, see if you're able to pick up what she was picking up in the other room and vice versa.
Okay.
Who was attacking Shane in that other room? If you were here, please let us know.
Joseph, you can talk to me. I know you had sores on your legs. I know.
I invite our guardians to surround us, protect us, and if there is something that does not belong in this house, if there is something darker in presence, we ask that you eject that being from the...
Look at this, Dave. Look at that.
What the is that? Dude, feel this. There's wet all over the ceiling. Look at that. This is just like the manifestations at the Peck house, when they would forget to acknowledge Lottie. Before we jump to the paranormal, maybe we should take a look upstairs. Man, I'm not happy about doing this.
Dave?
Oh man, I got nothing. There's no water up here.
No moisture up there at all?
No moisture. There's pipes right here. There's nothing. They're bone dry, man.
Wait a minute. No, Dave! Dave, be careful walking down the stairs. I just feel something kicking you in the back or hurting your back.
You know what? I'm gonna come down backwards because I just don't feel comfortable turning my back to this room.
I'm coming out.
There's something really dark here that Cindy feels wants to harm us.
That dark presence is, I feel like it's just getting amped up.
Now, usually that's a pretty good indication to get out. But we've got one last thing to do. Final EVP started. Joseph, we want you to know that above all, you've not been forgotten. Like Lottie, you have people that care now and will honor you and your memory. It's okay to rest now. We ask that any dark energies leave this house. You're not welcome here and you don't belong here. Let's call it a night. It's almost hard to keep track of everything that happened in the investigation last night. That felt like somebody snorted right on the back of my neck. It was just like a... We're just hoping that our equipment captured all of the evidence that we need.
That was like a, is it Shane?
Something said my name at the exact moment that I felt something on my neck. Which leads me to the next piece of evidence. So at that moment, I'm freaking out wondering what just grabbed my neck.
Right.
No way! What the?
What we found at the Knapp house defies any earthly explanation. Sharing our evidence with those affected by the haunting is one of the hardest things that we have to do. But as the director of the home, Sherry needs to see this. We came here with the intention of trying to find out what was going on with Lottie. Was that story really closed? We were a little surprised to find that there were all of these strange claims coming from the Knapp house. Why would the removal of Lottie suddenly spill energy over here and create something new?
So I know Joseph's here. I'm positive Lottie's here as well. But that's not everything. I don't think any of them are the ones that are creating any negative energy in this house.
This investigation took us to places we did not expect to go. We set Shane up to do this isolation experiment in that closeted room where Allie says she's really uncomfortable. And what he felt happen as he was sitting against the wall was a hand grab him by the side of the neck and pull him. But that's not all we captured. We were filming using a thermal camera. I'd like to draw your attention, as you saw the window, there was nothing out of place.
Right.
The thermal camera picks up on when there are variances in temperature. He just got grabbed and he stands up. Now the camera's turning.
A handprint. Wow.
Now what's really interesting about this is slowly the fingers start to roll onto the glass and appear. And look at this. There's nobody in front of the glass, and as you can see, there's no heat signature coming from behind the glass, pressing its hand against the glass. Before we go any further, to give a little clarification, Hans Holzer, he was very cautious with the way he did an investigation and in the way that he brought the mediums on board. He gave them absolutely no information, brought them to a location and simply let them do what they do, which is what we do with Cindy. I want you to take very seriously what she's about to share with you.
What I'm about to tell you might be a little bit unnerving.
Okay.
When Shane was in the closet, I don't believe that what happened to him was caused by Joseph or Ezekiel. I believe it was caused by something that I would describe as being inhuman, this dark presence. And the question we asked ourselves is, why would this be here? Because Hans Holzer didn't pick up on this.
No.
Where would this have come from? There should be a source for it.
And here's what we think. When they removed the spirits at the Peck house, more than just the spirit of Lottie left, there was something else that moved. Something dark. And now it's here. It can feed off of the spiritual energy of Ezekiel and Joseph and every family member that's come and gone through this household. It can feed off the energy of you, of Allie, and all of the people that come through this museum. When you're afraid, it's continually feeding on that fear.
Wow.
We don't want you to feel like you're losing power.
You're not.
An important element to all of this is the power of intention. You and Allie are coming in here with the best of intentions, to share and open up the history. That's what Joseph wants. He wants his story to be remembered. That's what Lottie wanted, to not be forgotten.